Welcome back to the Butt Chug Podcast, everyone. This is episode 88, or Double Infinity, as I like to call it.
In bingo, it's called the Big Lady.
In bingo?
In bingo.
There's an 88 in bingo?
It's in a standard game of bingo, it's the largest number in bingo.
Damn. 1988 was a good year.
Yeah? What happened in 88?
It's just good times. Just the 80s.
Oh, well, yeah, the 80s were... did we talk about this last week? I think the 80s... Can we shed?
Yeah, we don't need no stinking masks.
Free zone. I've been evaluating the decades I've been alive, and I don't remember the 80s very well, or at all. But I believe so far that's the best one that I've been alive for.
Probably.
Like, I used to think back in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, I used to be like, the 80s was just a waste. Like, nothing happened. But now that I look back on it, like, it was great. Music was great.
I can tell you right now,
there was a lot of news.
The 20s are really, really off to a bad start.
Yeah, the 20s are the worst so far.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. Now, what's your measuring stick for this?
Mostly pop culture. I feel like the 2000s were pretty generic.
And that's my question. You have the 80s, 90s. Is it just the 2000s?
And the 10s. So,
I don't like either one of those names. 80s and 90s, because I guess maybe top 40 radio that I grew up on. The best of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Best of the zeros and tens. Like that.
Right, that doesn't say...
hurts
we
the
don't
brain.
have a good, quick radio name for
they're called
2000s.
the aughts. It's not called the aughts.
Oh, the aughts. I have heard
I
that.
wish
I've
it would be
I've
called
heard
the
that.
aughts, because that sounds cool.
Excellent.
I've heard the aughts. But, the 2000s were pretty generic. Other than 9/11, newsworthiness, 2 wars, but, it was pretty generic decade. But the 80s had, the start of rap, a lot of hair metal, and a lot of great 90s metal bands started in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Then the 90s, you had, grunge and some cool rock. Not a lot of pop culture other than Princess Di, really. And then 2000s and 2010s.
Yeah. I think in the 80s...
I mean, you have the
80s
blowjob,
just was
Monica
so
Lewinsky.
Yeah, the 80s...
In the 90s, yeah, that's true. You did have some news.
The 80s was great because that was the cocaine that they made that wasn't addictive.
Yep.
Oh.
Now they've made it all addictive and you get hooked and stuff
I
like
didn't know
that.
that.
But the cocaine in the 80s was, you could just do it and no big deal.
To steal a line and, to look on it and, as a student of history, the best period in time, in our lifetimes, was the early 80s when it was mid-coke, pre-AIDS.
Yeah.
Where just people fucked up all the time, and I've completely stolen that. But looking back on it, and even though I didn't partake in, I haven't partaken in HIV, I feel like I can say that.
Yeah.
Nor cocaine, but I saw through movies and through culture, all the people that did do that.
Right.
They look like they were having a blast.
And they're totally fine now.
Yeah, and they're great.
Totally
they're all
normal.
upstanding citizens.
Yeah. Mostly businessmen.
Yeah, probably. I would estimate again,
all of our current world leaders.
Yeah, 410 to 460 of them, of the Fortune 500 CEOs, were those individuals.
Individuals, yeah.
Just living it.
That's probably true. The full Enron cast.
The full Enron. Do the math. That was the 90s, Enron?
Yeah, the 90s was Enron. You're right.
Or the aughts. I think it was the 90s.
Yeah, it was the 90s.
Well, I've got some beer news, guys.
Yeah, let's get into beer.
So, first of all, last week we did talk about Nuclearis.
Oh, wait, first.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt.
No.
We're together. For the audio listener, this is actually a big deal.
Yeah.
We haven't together.
We haven't even touched yet.
We haven't addressed.
High fives.
We haven't addressed.
High fives.
I guess elephant in the room.
Call me the
term
elephant.
we've already used before we started recording. We're together. It's been a long time.
We're always together.
I was so
We're corporally
I was
together now.
eager to get out of the house today. It kept me going all day.
Well, doesn't even feel like we missed a beat though.
No.
Honestly, feels like I was just here.
We just fell right. Yeah, I know.
It's
fell right back in
because we're recording, and I don't have my spreadsheet in front of me. I should have looked. I know it's February. Last time we were all, because March I was gone. April, obviously, May. So not too long. Had we got to June, it would have felt maybe a little bit longer. But
maybe
we're knocking on the door of June.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, June's next week.
It feels like
next week. Holy moly! I didn't even think about that.
It's crazy. But
all right, Nuclearis.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give a giant out to my father-in-law, who brought me a bunch of beer. And he brought me Nuclearis because he listened. He got his beer news from the podcast, and he goes,
awesome.
And because it's my wife's favorite beer, hands down, so he brought down a bunch of Nuclearis. But that's a personal one. So Thank you, Chuggalo Todd.
Bringing the news to the people.
I think he listens to it. I don't know if he watches it, but we talk about it all the time. So
He watches it in his mind.
there's a Nielsen report that's near and dear to my heart because they've sent me $2 in the mail to fill out this.
I got $5 once.
You got $5?
Yeah.
I just got $2.
It was for streaming. Back when streaming was fairly new.
Yeah.
They only wanted me to record streaming.
Really?
So Netflix, DirecTV Go or whatever it's called, stuff like that.
I don't know what
Nothing
you're talking about.
Streaming.
People mail you money.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nielsen, the TV
They
ratings.
just put little sticky stuff on and they put like $1. So they put like a form letter.
Yeah.
And then just like little sticky, they like put $1 or $5 rate on there, and they're like, hey, if you fill this out, great. If you don't, or it doesn't apply to you, keep the $1.
Right.
So I've gotten 2 of these $. One of them was about beer. So I was excited, but I kind of cheated it. So Nielsen, if you're watching or listening, I apologize. It was
Skew
for,
results.
Yeah.
it's for 18 to
Biased
34-year-olds. But you know me, I know the value of $1.
Right.
I don't know the value of a 5, a 10, or a 20, but I saved $1 bill, so I got super excited. It was on beer. And the results of that have come out. So 11% of bars and restaurants have said that curbside or limited service, delivery service, has been sustainable for their business.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a big number. And
Yeah.
I thought it would be far less. And I know 11% doesn't sound significant. I think it really does. That some of these bars that I don't think would be able to survive under any other conditions were able to find sustainability.
I like that a lot of local jurisdictions, police-wise, have relaxed laws on open containers of alcohol strictly because of this.
Do you think that will continue in Ohio?
Yeah. I think so many, this brought about this, evolution as a force, that is unstoppable.
Yeah.
And this just drove a lot of evolution in a variety of different manners of society. So,
I mean, we all agree, and we've talked about this before, that the blue laws are pretty archaic in how they change from jurisdiction to jurisdiction.
Yeah.
But I think in Ohio specifically, where we are, I hope that it changes. I haven't read the tea leaves or done any divination or anything like that, but I hope that curbside service still becomes a thing. And they seal that stuff anyways,
Yeah.
Drive-through
It's
daiquiri
not like
shops
New
in the
Orleans.
South are still a thing. So.
I know.
Yeah. It's not like New Orleans where you can just walk around, right, with open containers, or is that what you're saying?
They're working to make put that into effect in the Oregon district.
Oh, wow.
Now,
Did we talk about that last time?
I don't think so.
Well, I feel like we
I've
have,
heard.
because I feel
Maybe
like
we did. We
some
talked
of the
about the
business
Oregon
owners in Oregon district don't want it because they won't close down the street because of the foot traffic for the
Yeah.
non-drinking establishments.
Yeah.
Like the book peddler down there, because he gets a lot of vehicle traffic into that. You know where I'm talking?
About.
This guy has like every Playboy from its
like a
inception
storefront?
forward. Yeah, he's an old book periodical dealer.
Yeah, okay.
I said it tongue in cheek. Like
Yeah.
Right.
he doesn't. I don't think he gets a ton of vehicle traffic
Oh, I
in there,
see,
but
okay.
it's great because I've gone in there for gift ideas for people.
I wish they'd shut that street down. It doesn't make sense that there's cars driving down there all the time.
It because there is a ample amount of, and Chris, you live there, so you know it well. Do you think there's enough, if they shut it down, that there's enough parking that is rate askew to it? That
Probably not. They need to address parking needs to be addressed before you shut that area down. Otherwise there are a lot of residents that live there,
yeah.
and I can tell you as a resident that lived there for a while, it really sucks when someone takes your spot.
Yeah.
It just really sucks because you just want to go home to where you live and you have to park like 4 or 5 blocks away from your own house. That
Yeah,
really
that sucks.
sucks.
Jeez.
So, but once they get that solved, I'm back to beer and drinking and carry out and whatnot. Hopefully the Oregon district will make it to where you can openly carry, and walk around with the beer instead and not get in trouble.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Vegas rules.
Yeah, Vegas rules. It's just a block or two, right?
Right. The stretch of it.
Yeah, it's like 2 blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, then do you include like Dub Pub into it? You're crossing a busy street, and that's a bookend. And then how much further do you go
I
that
don't
way?
see why you can't just cut it off. I mean, you're
You have to
already
work
giving, a mile.
Yeah.
You don't have to give it to the, this one business is just outside of it. Well,
Too bad.
tough shit.
bad.
you know?
Right.
I like it. I like making it that way.
Yeah.
And my final tidbit on a national news, McKellar Pub. So McKellar, a favorite. We started with their Brute IPA. If you guys were calling the Bomber, but it was a Genie style bottle. They're selling their pub in San Francisco. They sold the Los Angeles one. They're not shutting down production or anything, but just as like a big entrenched name, they've done a lot of collaborations with the big guys, a lot of collaborations with like Three Floyds. So piggybacking on that story, they're actually selling all of their pub locations. They're not giving up on brewing beer. They're just, we can't afford the sustainability. They own the building, so they'll rent it out. So it could be an income generator for them if another similar business, because they're not gutting it. They're leaving the 40 taps in there. They're leaving all the tables. So if another upstart in San Francisco in the high rent district and some of the highest rent wants to move in there,
that's terrible.
Rents over $7,000 a month or something like that. But for an established company, multinational country such as McKellar, for them to not find sustainability, in such a short window, that's crazy. And I know their numbers are better than mine, but that they couldn't find curbside service or there's a lot of
trim the
bumps.
fat.
Yeah, trim the fat.
Got to tighten the belt. That's what they say in the industry.
That's what they say. Tighten the belt.
Yep.
But that's what I have for news.
Well, I have one piece of news that piggybacks off yours. Three Floyds has decided to close indefinitely. They've canceled their Dark Lord Day. And this is less of a discussion topic as much as it is a soapbox for me to talk to the people from Chicago. You had that right outside your city, and you spent all this time being homers about Goose Island and all these other subpar breweries, in my opinion. And now Three Floyds is shutting down, or at least closing their tap room. I think they might still be distributing beer.
So when I brought this up last week, the only effect that it has is on the restaurant portion.
Just the restaurant.
Yeah, so just the 2,000 square feet, and I thought it was like 34 employees. They're still going to be brewing.
They're still going to brew, but
yeah, that's just like one of their points of sale.
Okay.
And they have so much inertia now with distribution. You can readily get Three Floyds at Kroger here in Ohio.
The distribution, I think, I haven't read that that's stopping.
And you can get it in northern Wisconsin, and you can get it in Minnesota. So that has increased exponentially. It's just sad news for their main point of sale at the Brew Pub restaurant there. And again, it's a smaller facility, but still that's 34 people's lives that are affected.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And that's indefinitely. That's
indefinitely. Yeah.
There's no like, hey, we're gonna reassess, or maybe they are silently doing that. And then when you said Dark Lord Day, which is the newest piece of information I didn't know, that's not until April.
Oh, okay.
That's the last Saturday in April. So for that to be canceled, that's 11
maybe,
months out.
Maybe the article I read was a little old.
But that's great.
Because
they just
canceled it for this year.
Yeah, they just did it a week and a half ago.
They did do it.
Yeah, they closed down indefinitely.
Oh, they closed down.
The restaurant location in Munster or Hammond. Hammond.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just talking with Randy Orton about it over the weekend, and it's disappointing that it's basically a Chicago brewer. I mean, I know that all the shit I give to Indiana for not being, they claim Chicago, but they're not Chicago. In this situation, the Chicagoans should have stepped up a little bit more. Gone and get that beer.
Yeah, it's tough, and we agree.
They're getting the beer. It's just
that's a haul for.
They're not going to the tap room location.
Yeah.
True.
Because I just bought
maybe there's no way to.
I just bought some.
There was no way to solve this.
I'm just
mad that I see Goose Island everywhere.
The industry as a whole, bars and restaurants. Yeah. I mean, it's just going to have to be reevaluated from the ground up at this point. Yeah. Everything got reduced to zero, and now at best everything's going to be brought back to 50%. Well, if you only have 50% revenue, and this is 50 states, just dealing with the United States. If you only have 50% revenue, then obviously, basic math, 50% staff, 50%, capacity, everything.
Yeah.
So now you've got the bar and restaurants portion of the service industry where 50% of them, they're not furloughed. They're just, those jobs will never come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the tough.
Yeah.
So now you've just increased, now as jobs do come back online, you've got double the people applying for those jobs because everyone's needing to get a few hours of work here and there.
Very true.
And Goose Island, they're propped up by big beer.
True.
In
Yeah, that's also true. Well, those are a lot of teasers for the game that I have today, so we can move on.
I may have brushed up on my super obscure beer facts because do you know? I think I'm going to guess on your theme today. Last Thursday was National Beer Day in Belgium, so I'm going to guess it's going to be Belgian beers. So you can think about that for the next. No, last Thursday.
Nope. We're going to do Great Debate.
Great
Nothing
Debate.
to do with Belgian beer.
Oh man, the Great Debate.
The Great Debate. But this time I don't have to participate. I get to be the host, so it's great, and it's a debate.
Those are brutal.
Wow, fantastic.
All right. I don't have any more news.
I don't either.
JT, let's get our first beer, which is brought to you by
Dave.
Chuggalo Dave.
Chuggalo Dave. Thanks, Chuggalo Dave.
And if you could, JT,
Thanks.
kick off that with the letter that Dave sent along with his beer.
All right, this is from Chuggalo Dave. JT, per our agreement with this beer, I get to sponsor the beer can review. And you will review this can. The beer is a good lager. You will give it an average store, an average store, because you do not love this kind of beer. Chuggalo Dave.
So I'm showing off Ruthy, which is a gold lager from Exile.
Ruthy. Oh yeah, I remember this can. Getting a picture of this can. Exile Brewing Company.
So I'm showing it off. If
Savagely pursuing quality.
I know we're being quiet, but you can see it on the YouTube.
I'm reading the can. Yeah, this is exciting. Love it. I'm excited for the absolute boner that this is gonna.
Yeah.
And
a real boner.
This
and
is the
you
can
too.
Out boner segment with real boners.
With real boners this time.
And you too can sponsor the Can Art Boner segment if you exceed the 3 cans of beer that Chuggalo Dave sent, correct?
So far, yeah. Well, yes, that's the agreement was that all you had to do was say he was sponsoring it, and that's so far the highest bid.
Yeah.
Sending the 3 beers was extra, but we can make it. You have to beat his 3 beers, but why would anyone send more than 3 beers? That seems like a lot of extra.
Just to up the ante.
You have to send. So the next one would have to be 3 beers and either like a sticker or 3 stickers or 6 beers.
Well, if we do it,
or 4 beers.
I need to go down a rabbit hole here soon.
Yeah, please go down the rabbit hole.
But maybe we should drink beer at the same time while I go down this rabbit hole. Should we crack these?
Yeah, let's crack them, and then you go down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
We'll get our.
It's gonna be real quick. I don't want to go on too long. 3, 2, 1.
That's a very subdued 3, 2, 1.
It was.
I'm gonna sleeve my can because there's a lot of.
Okay, so
you guys to talk
real
about.
quick, talking about bidding and whatnot. I had a really good idea for delivery drivers yesterday. We should apply true measures of capitalism to deliveries. There should be no more free deliveries. You have to give a bare minimum tip of $1, but you can tip as much as you want, and that drives as to who gets their package first that day. Because if you're the delivery driver, you're going to go to the $50 tip, the guy that really wants his package and has money. And then you're going to go to the next closest like that. That way the drivers get satisfied and paid handsomely for being treated like shit most often.
True.
And it's in support of actual capitalism. And that's it. That was all my my thought.
I like your idea.
I loved it.
I like it. I think that it's working in reverse. It's still supporting capitalist mindset in that the delivery drivers in most cases are delivery companies, so they're trying to be the lowest bidder.
Yes, but I'm wanting to benefit. That's why
you wanted to benefit them
tips.
instead of the person getting the package.
Yeah,
yeah. I hear that.
I want the laborer. The person doing the labor, the guy on the bottom rung, to get his money for working hard. Yeah. And if you have the means, and you're like, man, I really need this package, then you're gonna tip and you're gonna get it, the next day. Yeah. Or in the morning, because you're number one.
I hear that. If you're still being shitty to delivery drivers, you're fucked up.
Yeah.
You're an animal.
I can count since this all started. I can count on one hand how many times we've had food delivered. It was once. Yeah. With Jimmy John's, and I gave the guy $10.
Nice.
For 2 sandwiches.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I always go pick up my food.
Yeah, we typically pick it up too. But we've done the DoorDash or whatever.
Never done those.
And Yeah, we tip pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm not some hero. I just would rather go
No.
drive and get it myself.
But like the Amazon guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those
so,
are.
So we don't tip those guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying they should be tipped. That's how they should earn their money.
Mhm.
They should get minimum wage, but then when you order something on Amazon, you are required to give a tip.
Yeah.
If you gave a big tip, then obviously the guy's going to go to you first.
Yeah.
And there's no order other than the fact that who's tipping the best.
Mhm.
This
Right
is
now it says like you're going to get your package between 2
Yeah.
and 4 o'clock, or it's 8 stops away.
Yeah.
Well, you can up that if you're like,
You can
dude,
tip
I need
them.
this.
I need it now. Yeah.
Do you compliment every time they? I like that you gave the 2-hour window. I compliment those every time. Hopefully those don't go into the ether, and if they get so many compliments, they get some sort of compensation statement
Maybe,
on
yeah.
the back end, because it's putting a box at my door.
Yeah.
But I always say delivered with care, or because I'm gonna have something breakable come or whatever. But delivered with precision or whatever. I always compliment.
Mhm.
I've traditionally got the same Amazon guy that delivers to me.
Yeah, we have the same guy.
And
Yeah.
he's
Oh yeah,
cool.
no, we're
He's
completely
really-
random.
He's
Oh,
really
wow.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, we have the
So I
same
wish we could
mailman,
tip.
same Amazon guy.
That was too far down the
That
rabbit
was
hole.
great. I like that.
We got
aside.
completely away from beer and Ruthy and Chuggalo Dave and his
Yeah.
submission and the fact that he is contributing to the BCP.
So the only thing I've got to say about Exile, first of all, Chuggalo
Yeah.
Dave, thanks for he actually wrapped and sent this in an Amazon box.
Wow.
Nice.
So my wife and I were saying, and so that's a beautiful segue. My wife and I were like, we're not expecting anything today, and here it was from Chuggalo Dave. So it came with the 3 beers, 47 layers of bubble wrap. So the beers showed up completely unscathed, Dave, and the beautiful love letter
Yeah.
that he wrote. So I just want to talk about the brewery a little bit. I'm not going to talk about anything on the can. That's not what I do. So on exilebrewing.com, I figured that this would be, I don't know, because of Iowa, I figured it would be an older contingent of brewers. I just kind of flick through their About Us. It's very younger. I would assume younger than us just by the looks. The one turn off and the one warning sign that we have here on the podcast, it pairs their beer and food. It says, we're known for our beer and food.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather have your beer beget the other.
Yeah.
They pair it together, which is, we'll see. I don't want to allude to our scores. But,
Hey, if you got good food, you got good food.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to make a buck.
But more
Don't let it take away from the beer.
more information at exilebrewing.com. Beer fulfills our purpose. It cultivates our community of free spirits, oddballs, and outsiders. Love that. It ties us together and builds our festivities. The product of unparalleled commitment to innovation and quality. It's our labor of love and our uncommon family. Welcome to Exile. We're far from the ordinary. So I like that. It's a very subdued website, which is amplified when I showed, and I will, when JT talks, I'll come up there to the camera and rotate it a little bit. But I appreciate that, and it's got all their listings and everything about their brew pub and their location, but only available in Iowa.
I think
That's another
Iowa's
thing.
an interesting place to me. I've never been. I don't know anything about it. I absorbed some pieces of information from the news here and there, and by and large across the country, people are leaving. Young people are leaving, rural farm areas and flocking to cities and whatnot.
I'm glad you bring that up.
And maybe that's, I'm sure that's occurring in Iowa, and I don't know what cities are in Iowa. I'm terrible with
Des Moines.
Okay.
Others.
I think there is really cool stuff. Sorry for the spittle. That was good.
No, that's it.
I think they are doing some cool stuff in some of their towns, colleges, and whatnot. I've just seen some cool stuff coming out of Iowa.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I'm glad you brought up, and we'll get to the beer eventually, but
I know.
the diaspora, the brain drain they call it,
Yeah.
but of knowledge, it's the biggest in Iowa, and it has been for a long time. Kids come there to go to college and then they leave, and it's a wide disparity. They have an amazing educational system between the 2 state school systems. So you have Iowa University and then you have Iowa State, and they're fragmented. But I've read the article many a times over the last decade that they can't keep students there.
Yeah.
So it's nice that places like Exile, it appears, are young professionals trying to keep, enrich the community with new vibrance, not just rely on the corn and the pork industries, which are the two big industries.
Well, this whole quarantine thing, I mean, there's a huge push to leave Silicon Valley with tech as a whole. Every town in America is like, we can be a tech hub, because all you need is an internet connection, basically. So it's spreading out from Silicon Valley, and people are talking about moving a lot of workers in Facebook and Microsoft and stuff like that out into the Midwest. They say, yeah, feel free to go. You're gonna get a pay cut, but you can still work for us.
Yeah.
You don't have to live in San Fran.
Yeah. Well, JT, it's time to pay the devil his due.
Yeah, let's do that. All right. Well, just to go off a little bit of my contribution to your guys' previous conversation, I love Iowa. I've been there. Went to the Field of Dreams. Went through Des Moines once. Loved it. I've never had a bad experience in Iowa. But again, I didn't stay, so you're right.
Well, one of our favorite.
I think Dayton and like Des Moines probably have a lot of similarities. Like, and I was going to mention the tech hubs. All we need is that first big company to come to Dayton, and we need like gigabit internet, and it's going to boom.
I mean, we have
anywhere.
Yeah, it's anywhere. Right, it's anywhere.
We have defense contractors that are in the Fortune 100,
but most of the defense contractors in Dayton aren't.
You're not talking about a big razzle dazzle name. You
don't even need a big razzle dazzle name. You just someone to put their headquarters here, not like a big. Amazon.
Their headquarters?
No, not like an Amazon. I'm saying like a new company that succeeds. You just need some success here.
The BCP.
Yeah, we need like BCP World Headquarters, Dayton, Ohio.
Well, I mean, it's funny that.
I'm not saying that Facebook has to move to Dayton.
Last week it was all in the news. It was all in the news. Joe Rogan signed $100 million with Spotify.
That is crazy.
That's crazy.
BCP, we signed $80 million on Spotify.
We did, but no one talked about it. No one talked about it.
$80 million cold cash.
Crazy.
But I was gonna say
it's hard to split that 3 ways.
I mean,
such an even number.
Yeah, I'll just take 10. One of our favorite brewers, at least mine, I don't want to stick, is from Iowa, and I would be remiss to say Toppling Goliath is from Decorah. Even though most of it is brewed in Florida, it's from Iowa. So
I was gonna bring them up, Toppling Goliath, and now Exile. Two brewers from Iowa. So now I know 2. All right, Ruthy. This is the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Dave. Chuggalo Dave. Thanks, Chuggalo Dave. 1, for sending the beer. 2, for sponsoring the Can Art Boner segment. And 3, for writing me this nice letter. I really appreciated that, the heart that you put into that. So Ruthy, this is a gold lager. And the can, I don't even know where to begin. There's just a lot going on. I'll just read first so that
I know where you want to begin.
Of course you know where I want to begin. The titties.
Yeah.
Right? That's where everyone wants to begin.
Yeah.
A Des Moines original, Ruthy became a staple in the 1950s bar scene. The tips she made were so exorbitant that they tried to impose a burlesque tax on her. This beer is a tribute to the finest woman to serve a beer. So the can art that Matt is showing on the YouTube video is Ruthy, and she has big hair, 1950s hair, nice earrings, but most of all,
nice earrings.
Nice earrings. You gotta start at the top and work your way down.
That's nice earrings.
Yeah, she's got a pretty face, but then she's pouring 2 beers, and the 2 glasses that she's pouring into are resting nicely on her bosom.
I'm glad I know his word usage. It's going to be bosom.
Oh, yeah.
Because anytime you have like robust shelving, it's a bosom.
Robust shelving.
Robust shelving. So she's got some sort of wire, device that's keeping those perky so that they can have a flat surface. She's leaning back just a little bit.
A corset.
Could be a girdle, could be a corset, could be a brassiere, could be all of the above, none of the above. Who knows?
Well, I don't know if it could be all of the above.
Maybe she's using a wire hanger. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, guys? We don't, because she's clothed. Maybe she's got actual books under there. Just keeping it like a bookshelf.
Hey.
Books go on top the shelf, not below the shelf.
Well, in this case, she's got glasses on top of the bookshelf. And this bookshelf is her bosom. And she's pouring 2 beers onto it, and I'm guessing that was an actual way that she poured beer, this real Ruthy.
I guarantee it.
I really would like to meet this Ruthy, although now she's probably let's say she was 25 then. She's 80, 95 now.
I would say, JT, that it would take all of that magic that you suggested, all three of them, to bring those bosoms back up to their 1950s level.
Yeah, probably. I don't know that she's probably still alive. You know, it's 2020 now.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Well,
Coronavirus as well. She is wearing pleated pants as well. I don't know if you guys noticed that. At least it looks pleated. Women used to wear pleated pants in the 50s.
That's crazy.
It's a fact we have to deal with.
I thought that was strictly for men
2020.
to hide their erections.
That's typically.
When
Back
you're
then,
around
it was
Ruthy.
for women to hide their erections.
When you're around Ruthy, you have to wear pleated pants.
When you are Ruthy,
It's not
you
a
wear
boner,
pleated
it's the
pants.
pleats in the pants.
And then on the top, there's a banner that says Ruthy. It's Ruthie and not Y. And there's 2 hearts on either side of her name. And the rest of the can is just yellow and black. It says Exile on the other side. Savagely Savagely pursuing quality. I almost had trouble reading that.
So that's a real picture
so that's
of
the
Ruthy.
picture. It looks like she's wearing pleated pants. It looks like the same picture.
Jeez.
That's where it came from. So it was a drawing rendered from that picture.
And there's a lot of
Let me see
Ruthy.
that again.
Ruthy was, so this is one when she was younger.
Oh yeah.
So you can see what she's got on
It
to
seemed like
support the
They
girls.
got a little bigger.
Jeez, that's.
Yeah, so I'll show it on the YouTube.
Think Christina Hendricks from Mad Men.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very much.
Yeah, Christina Hendricks from Mad Men. Yep.
And look at that. You know, you can see her midriff there. So gone are JT's theories of books underneath.
Gone are the days where we used to think women put books under their boobs.
Yeah. How do you?
And then we're back to it's the girdle days. So that's the can art boner segment brought to you by Chuggalo Dave. Thanks, Dave. This is a fantastic can.
This is
save
Ruthy today,
cans.
by the way.
Oh, okay.
So
She looks
I don't
like
know
an
if
old
you'd want to see.
lady.
Hey, whatever.
Hey, whatever. That's what I was gonna say.
Probably take a look.
I'm not really interested, but you know. So that is that. Chuggalo Dave, thank you so much for this can. I don't save cans, but if I did, I would save this can, but I don't because that'd be weird.
That would be too many cans.
Like, who would save cans? People do that.
That's too
Mostly
many.
college kids. They line them up, you know, above their.
Yeah.
This is a poster.
Cabinets and
This is
stuff.
a poster I would buy.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
This-
she was
this
pretty
belong-
hot, man.
This
She-
belongs
she
in the
had it
church.
going on
I would
back
put this
then.
in the church room
Yeah, of course.
just because of the history, and I have some artifacts. I mean, old beer signs in the church room, an old pitcher.
I wonder if anyone's quantified
Just get
the
Ruthy.
tips that she got.
Just get Ruthy to live here in your church room bar.
Yeah, just
She's just here.
roll
Like,
her on
oh,
in.
wait, honey, let me pour you a beer. Okay, here you go, Matt.
Is it Ruthy or the Wicked Witch?
Who knows?
It's from Iowa, not Kansas.
She was working in a bar in the 1950s. I'm sure she took up smoking. She probably.
Yeah, she
Kansas
probably
and
did.
Iowa are essentially the same, right?
It's science.
Yeah. All right, so that's the can art boner segment. This is the flavor segment. I don't know.
Flavor segment.
Who said I don't like gold lagers, or who said I don't like lagers? I do like lagers.
He is pretty like on top of his shit. So
I don't remember ever saying I didn't like it. The only beer I've ever outright said that I don't like are Belgian beers. I have not liked one yet. I like lagers. This is pretty good. It's another easy drinker. It tastes pretty weedy. I don't know if bready's the right word. I think
Now-
wheat. I'm
now
sticking with the wheat.
now you said you don't like wheat beers too.
Oh, have I? Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
so
that's
this is gonna
where.
be a
But
foreshadow.
this one's a lot lighter than like if this was
Caution, we're gonna get a wild Ohio score here from JTI.
no a Wild Ohio score.
Oh,
No
yeah.
way. I hated that beer. I like this beer. This is an easy drinker.
I saw that the other day.
Wild Ohio.
Did you just
yeah,
punt
it's
it?
like showing
Just
up more.
take it off and punt it.
I was
It's like
mad.
I feel like they're
Triggered a
succeeding
reaction.
in spite of our podcast.
Jeez.
This is a good beer. This is I think it's probably a fall beer more than something I drink like after mowing. You know, we talk about activities we do when we really want a beer. This tastes a little.
I know where you're going with that.
It just tastes
I know
more
where you're
like
going with
fall. I think it's
It's
like
closer to an Oktoberfest.
yeah, it's
flavor.
closer to it. There it is with the assist. But still good. 3.75. Liked it.
Awesome. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Look at
I
that.
also like the gold lager. I think it's you know, a lot of lager. There's plenty of lagers out there that have just basically no flavor.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing to it.
Mhm.
This has flavor. It's a good flavor. It's well rounded, I guess, is what you would call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think JT's on the right path to where the flavor that you do get It's kind of caramelly, kind of weedy,
Yeah.
and it's closer to what you would get at an Oktoberfest. Not a full-on Oktoberfest beer, not a full-on October beer.
Yeah.
It's like that transition beer from summer to fall, and this would be the perfect one to usher you in that direction right before PSLs start coming online and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 3.5 butt cheeks for me. I think it's great beer. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate the submission. Side note, I've never seen anyone spell their name Ruthy with a Y. I've only seen it with
Okay.
an I-E.
I don't think I've
That's
ever seen
really
the name
weird.
Ruthy written.
I have an Aunt Ruthy.
Yeah, I don't believe I've ever. Why?
And I would be weirded out if there was a Y on the end of Ruthy.
Yeah, probably the first Ruthy I ever experienced in the world was in Ozark, the show on Netflix, and I never saw her name spelled out. That's why I said
it's always IE. I've never seen a Y either.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a common name in the Midwest and in the
very
South.
much. I was gonna say it's a very Midwestern name.
I work with a Ruth, but it's not Ruthy.
Oh yeah, no,
It could be.
She's a Ruth.
She's a Ruth.
Oh, okay.
That lady.
Right on.
Well, so I would be remiss if I didn't tell a Chuggalo Dave story. So Chuggalo Dave was my deployed dad, and that's going to give away his age. In 2007, when we were both deployed to Incirlik, which is in
Turkey.
Turkey. He knew. You knew.
Is he plus or minus Ruthy?
He's definitely minus.
I know. I knew he was. I was just.
So his dad was a 1-star. Dave retired as a master sergeant, and Dave meant a lot to my career because again he was my deployed dad in my last deployment as an enlisted individual, and we just stayed in touch because we were both deployed over our birthday. So and they're both on kind of secondary holidays. His is on Valentine's Day, so I always associate Valentine's Day with buy chocolate, buy flowers, wish Dave a happy birthday, and then he always wishes me a happy birthday on St. Patrick's Day. So Dave has meant a lot to my military career. He kept me sane. We'd always go get Turkish tava, which if you've never had Turkish tava, go get Turkish tava and cheese bread. So the fact that he would take the time to send us beer means a lot, and thank you for your support, Dave. I will keep this can. And Dave, when you come visit, you can crush this can just because it'll be like we're getting married, and it's going to be Jewish where you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So think of it that way. And then I will.
I'd like to see that ceremony.
I'll buy. It's not going to be but I'll keep it. I'm going to put it up there with all the other artifacts.
And then you finally get to crush Ruthy's cans.
Just.
Ooh, I like that.
So, but enough of the sappy stuff. Off the top rope, this is a 3.5. I agree with. This is very drinkable.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very drinkable.
What gives
gone.
What gives
mine too.
where I arrived at that score, I wrote down some notes. It's got great body. Obviously the story. I'm a huge historian. She was a fixture of the Iowa, and Dave's actually from Minnesota, but he travels a lot for work.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he was struck by the story enough to send it to us, and this is one of his favorite beers. But outside of that, it's pedestrian. Don't take that as a negative because it's very approachable.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely an old man beer, though.
This is a beer like if you don't want to have the swill in your fridge when you get home from work,
right?
But you just want to.
This
have
is a
beer.
step up from swill.
Yeah,
this is a craft beer for non-IPA like.
Yeah,
this is an old man craft beer.
Yeah.
Like
Did you say
grab
that
this
this
out
is
of
a
the
craft
fridge?
beer for my dad?
You grab this out of the fridge right after work
Yeah.
and not think twice about drinking it.
Totally.
Don't even give a shit about the can art or the story. You just drink it for the fact that it's got good beer flavor.
Yeah.
Like it's got good beer flavor.
Right.
But it's not overpowering.
You could put it in a can, and don't take that Chuggalo Dave in a derogatory. I'm looking right at the camera.
No,
so
that was all.
This is not. Everything else carries it. I'm just rating this as the beer, amplified by the fact of our friendship and everything. But this is a 3.5. It doesn't blow the mind. GT didn't hate it, so you thought that he would. I was knocking the sign. Crazy world over here. But again, thank you, Chuggalo Dave. Again, I owe you a case of Yingling. We just didn't hook up the last time we were in when I was in Minnesota. But if you ever, I know you travel around. If you ever make up here, you've always got a bed and stay at the church room bar and drink till your heart's content. But I think it's on to hear a word from our friends at the Bush Light.
That's right. Guys, I know that we've all been quarantined, and There's no more AM and PM. It's just coffee or beer time.
Yeah.
And then sometimes beer kind of slides into coffee time. But now we got to go back to the office, right? But we're kind of, for lack of a better terms, we're addicted to drinking Busch Light all day long.
Yeah, right.
You know, you wake up and eat.
I'd say we're addicted.
Yeah, you have one before cereal. You
I'm
have
not
some.
ashamed.
You have some in your cereal.
Yeah.
You know, but now you have to go back to the office.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just sit at your desk and just crush Busch Lights all day.
No.
You can't.
Well, fortunately, they sell you, now they call it a 30.5 pack. It's a 30 pack, but inside there's one extra space. And in that space, they give you a generic coffee cup.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I like this.
So you're allowed to drink coffee at
Mhm.
work,
Yeah.
right?
Just as addicting.
Oh,
Just
I
as
love it.
addicting. Yep. But instead, they want you to fill that with Busch Light. So that way you can maintain your Busch Light addiction while you're back at the office.
Perfect.
It's just great thinking. They're really forward thinking there at Busch Light.
I love
It's
them.
the Busch Light warning program.
Right.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's it.
I love
Busch
it.
Light coffee cup. Get you a 30.5 pack out there.
Busch Light.
All right, next beer. So
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, JT.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So we have a good beer from Untitled Art. It was on deck. I had it staged, ready to come to Matt's house for this podcast, and now I can't find it. Instead, in its place were some A&W root beers. We won't go into why that is, but I can't find this beer, and I specifically put it aside. So we can do.
Can we talk about A&W for a little bit? Have you ever been to an A&W restaurant?
I have.
Yeah.
Amazing burgers.
Their burgers are really good. I
They're big
liken
in
them
Canada.
to the McDonald's
I'm
double
close enough.
cheeseburger
Yeah.
in that you could eat them without teeth. There's only two burgers you can eat without teeth: McDonald's double cheeseburger and A&W double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Because they're mushy.
That's great.
Mushy beef. It's weird.
Mushy beef.
Like Wendy's, Burger King, you need teeth.
Yeah.
McDonald's, no teeth.
That's good to know, though.
I mean, if you
Just
don't
in
have
case I
teeth,
don't have teeth.
yeah,
At some
the event
point,
that your teeth
I'm
go
not gonna
away.
have teeth.
Is she a great big fat person?
Yeah. So we have two options here. Well, let me.
We have
just-
multiple
let
options,
me-
JT. We
let me
talked
at
about
least
this.
dive into one thing. I did do my due diligence in trying to find this beer. I took everything out of the refrigerator. I took everything out of the beer fridge, and I took everything out of my garage fridge. I have 3 fridges. I took everything out of all of them.
I don't hold you
Couldn't
personally
find this
responsible
fucking
for
beer.
this.
No.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I
But
just
did
want to
you
tell the
check?
story,
Did
but
you
in the
check?
process?
Okay, he's gonna tell you fridges. One of them is about the size
Yeah,
of
it's a
like a
small
children.
beer fridge.
It says Play School on it.
It does,
like,
yeah. It doesn't actually cool anything.
Cool
It's just
6
plastic.
cans at once.
But I in the process of doing this is one thing I didn't tell you pre-production. I dropped a bottle. Well, I did say this. I dropped a bottle of Cactus. My kids have this YouTube channel where they make different quesadillas,
I saw it.
and one of them
You're cross promoting on our podcast.
I'm not promoting. Don't watch it. I'm not promoting. What I'm saying
You
is,
could just say food.
I have
you could
to,
just say
I
I
have
have family
to let
members that
people
make food.
understand why some
Will they
white
cross promote
bearded
us?
dude in
I don't think that's a
Ohio-
good idea.
Yeah, they cross promote us. I'm gonna suggest
Wait,
that.
oh, I don't think
A lager and an IPA.
I'm not doing that on a channel for children.
They don't have to swear.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Non-alcoholic
I
beer.
just wanted people to know why a
Pour
white
it from a
bearded
paper
dude in
bag.
Ohio has a bottle of cactus, edible cactus in his fridge. I'm just not, I don't have a reason to have this. But it fell out of the fridge while I was looking for this beer, and I was already furious. And it broke, and I have cactus juice on my feet currently. Just wanted you guys to know that. Currently, I threw socks over them because I didn't have time.
On your cactus feet.
There's one thing that I
Just
know
walk
in life.
around.
There's a few things I know. One,
Right.
don't show up without your beer, and 2, don't be late to anything Matt's involved in.
Yeah.
Right.
So how successful were you on those 2 today?
Very bad. So I was already late, and so I was like, "Fuck! I'm not washing my feet." I threw my socks on, and I put my shoes on and jetted out.
I started writing
I don't
down,
want to be more
and I realized
late.
that both of those pertain to me. So I was like, "Oh, those are my rules. I don't have to write those down." So you present us the remedy.
So
and
the
we'll
remedy.
present-
So there's 2. You've provided me with one, which
We'll
is
do
you
it.
guys do
No.
your Untitled Art one, which I think I'll eventually find, and I drink the Busch Light Orange as a punishment.
No, Bud Light Orange.
Bud Light Orange.
Busch Light Orange.
Busch Light Orange
That's
would
the
probably
name.
be great.
Yeah.
2, I brought 2. I brought 2 different beers that I have 3 of, so we could choose one of those.
Okay.
That's it, really.
Okay.
We can flip the coin to see who goes,
No,
or
so-
we can just choose the beer that we have 3 of.
So we are in a election year.
We are.
We should put it to a vote.
Put it to a vote. What should we do?
Okay. All in favor of option 1, which is we drink the Untitled Art,
Mm-hmm.
and JT drinks Bud Light Orange. Say aye. See?
Oh, very good.
It works.
You guys are great. All
Yeah.
right.
It was
So,
funny.
Were you nervous for a
When I
second?
saw that.
I mean, I'd honestly
You would drink a
resigned
warm-
to the fate
Would
of
you
drinking
Would
the-
you have drank a warm Bud Light Orange?
Yeah, for you. For you guys, I would have done it.
That's brutal.
I would've
Rule
done it.
number 3: if Matt gives you a beer, drink it.
So, when I saw the text when I got out to my car today, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna be late. that was my first
That's
thought.
what-
I was like, oh shit, he's gonna be late.
I was so on time until I wasn't.
So as a for the bold people, I get done with work at 13:30. I have a text. We can't take our phone into work, so we get out to our vehicles. And Chris, if I step on it, just let me know or interject. So there's a text from 117, and JT kind of knows our so he was working or whatever, and he's trying to pre-prep, I'm guessing, and he goes, shit, what was Cobra's beer? Because as he said, he's got 4 different fridges and there's beer in every fridge. Three different.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to locate because
Well,
for
there's
a
not
while,
supposed to be beer in the food fridge.
right? And the beauty
But there was.
the beauty of what we've been doing the last couple of months is, and we don't live. There's probably 25 minutes from my house to your house.
Yeah.
So we've been going and dropping off beer and
Coordinating like crazy.
whatever works. That's the most pre-production we've done on this pod. And so we've had this one. That's a 3-week lead time on this beer.
Yeah.
So we've been sitting on this one like mother hens. And so JT just lost track of it. So
It came with other beer, which we've had.
right. This just
And I
happened
had
because
track
it
of
was a 3 beer.
Yeah, it was
a 3 beer
It was
drop.
a 3 beer drop because I bought for 3 different specific reasons, and this was the final of that reason, which we'll get to later. It's honestly not a big
I'll find
deal.
it. I'll find it.
It's not a big deal at all. It was just funny.
It is a big
You
deal.
know he's going on websites now and trying to find it.
No. I'm gonna find it at my house. All right. Well, go ahead.
No, never mind. I'll save it for when we review that. Beer.
Okay.
We'll revisit
I
this.
We'll
can't wait.
revisit it. All right. So what we have today for this ad hoc review is a Nowhere in Particular. I have another beer in here, but I feel like I'm more prepared for this one. It's called Orange You Glad I Didn't Say Strawberry. Now Nowhere in Particular, they started doing the hobo brewing and they were distributing to a lot of stores. Their batch number, whatever, XX.
Yeah.
And then they started the Cabinet of Curiosities, and I think I had one for the podcast where we got from the Cabinet of Curiosities, and they have actual names now, but they weren't distributing those to stores. Now they're distributing. You guys heard of Crispy Crunchy Chicken? That Shell gas station. Well, that Shell, it's in Kettering. They now sell Nowhere in Particular, so it's a gas station is loaded with great features. It's got chicken, Nowhere in Particular, and other beer.
What an amazing gas station.
What an amazing gas station that is.
Wow, does it have the untitled art?
It has untitled art, but I don't think it has that particular one. I'll have to go look. But this is Strawberry
days.
Orange Creamsicle IPA. Let's crack this open and then we'll talk about it. 3, 2, 1. That was a better crack.
Mhm.
Okay, so obviously Nowhere in Particular, they started brewing out of Kettering, Ohio, and they Matt, you showed us a can earlier. I know this doesn't help the YouTube people, but they have a new label for all of their In the Cabinet of Curiosity beers. Well, they also have this other new label, and this is pretty much all of their distributed beers. This is
I'll
red
get it
with
since you
little
alluded to it.
squares. I can grab it if you.
No, you're saying Dance Monkey. You talk. You're the talent.
I'll do it. All right. Same logo, same spunk, same fruit flavors.
I am not drinking spunk. I just want to go on record as saying there is no spunk.
So this beer that Matt is showing, that is typical of the actual Cabinet of Curiosities, whereas this red one is typical of the store-bought Nowhere in Particular. So it's kind of like there's 2 different branches of this brewery, even though it's all, I think, done right there in Kettering.
Why are they now in pints? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
obviously
that's
not
a great
complaining.
question. I don't know
Love
the answer to.
Love
but
pints. I've always batch
yeah,
15 to batch
1
30,
through
whatever
20, 30,
has
something.
always been just 12-ounce cans, and now every
Now they're
Nowhere
in
in Particular I've had is nothing but
Yeah,
pints.
you're right. That's a great question. I don't know.
That'll have to be when this cloud is lifted over us. That'll have to be one of the questions.
Yeah,
we ask.
yeah. They've been agreeable in us requesting to have a podcast there. So that will be one of the questions we ask.
Will they pour their beer like Ruthy?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, just hopefully an older gentleman just does it.
No, they're both like our age.
I can't wait.
Two people there. You want that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna bring this can. I want my beer like
that.
I want my beer like Ruthy.
All right. So we've talked about this brewery in excess, and we will have them on the podcast to talk about their brewery. So I don't feel like we need to go over too much background.
No.
But this beer is Orange You Glad. I didn't say strawberry. It's a strawberry orange creamsicle IPA. Ale brewed with lactose, honey, oranges, strawberries, and vanilla. It is 7.5%, and it is served in a pint can.
I feel so bad for Dr. being lactose intolerant.
Oh, I know. He said that every once in a while he'll take one for the team.
Sorry,
It's the
Stacey.
lactose beer.
He's in Florida right now.
Oh, good.
He was going beer for me this weekend.
Yeah, he was going hard.
Good.
I saw that. He was
Oh
tagging
yeah,
me
because
a lot of shit.
he was tagging all of us.
What's he doing there? Is it
He's in
military?
Winter Haven,
No,
so
he's done with the military.
Dr. Just to give you guys a heads up, is a 40-something. He's gonna laugh at that. Just a white cis male, and he's in the oldest place in the United States, Winter Haven, Florida.
Oh.
It's also the spring training complex for a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's the youngest dude in Winter Haven, Florida, right now.
Yeah, probably so.
Probably.
So if you're Chuggalo listening in Florida, just go and shout Dr. At random haunts in Winter Haven. You'll find him.
You'll find him. He's there. What's he doing there?
I don't know. It
It's a
doesn't
weird
say
time
that
to
on
go to
tab.
Florida.
Just getting it.
Just
Getting it.
Just getting it.
being essential.
Wearing
Yeah,
different
maybe.
colored shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe he moved.
That's it. Yeah, he just punched
He's
out.
just like, fuck this.
Warmer.
Well, yeah, I mean, he
weather.
would have moved from Canada to Florida. I mean,
Yeah.
that's quite a
Yeah, he
common.
is quite a way up.
It's a common move.
Or you could just, if you really want to track him, you could listen to that sound that, what is that system he uses? Brew?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bruzy or something like that.
Yeah.
Hopsy.
Hopsy. Yeah. Just
Hopsy.
listen for
Or
the Hopsy.
follow the bad tips. Follow the bad tips. He's not the bad tipper, but where he is, there's likely to be one.
That's true.
At least in my experience.
We would like to split the salad. No tip.
No tip. $2 tip on a $50 check.
Gotta be.
It's not Drum's
weird
fault.
there.
No.
No, that's not. we're not-
He's felt so bad about it since it happened, and I'm like, why do you feel bad?
Right.
You're not responsible for that tip.
Yeah, go shame your neighbors.
All right, gentlemen. I'll go last.
All right.
I've said everything I can say about this beer.
Should be a short segment for you.
I'm going to jump off real quick.
Jump off.
This is a 4.5. This is obviously a delicious beer. I get strawberry, I get orange, and I get a lot of cream. I get the lactose.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the lactose washes out a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
IPA, I don't know where the IPA is. I get the strawberry, I get the orange, I get the lactose.
Mm-hmm.
So, honey, that absolutely gets lost in it. Vanilla, nowhere to be found. But, you know, that's not saying anything. It's just, those are just ingredients that I'm not being able to pull out of there, even though it's labeled on the can. That being said, 4.5, you know, nowhere in particular set the bar so high early on. If you're gonna put something called creamsicle, then obviously, then I'm measuring it at a 5.
Sure.
So it's very difficult
It's hard,
to get back there again. I think the strawberry. I love the strawberry flavor that's coming through. I can get a little bit of orange. That's good. But the strawberry flavor with the lactose is very good. But the lactose, I think, was a little heavy-handed on this batch, and it just kind of washes out a lot of other stuff. So that's why it comes in at a 4.5. Can't quite get to 4.7 or to 5. I do love the beer. It does fall into the category of crushable because you can just chug this. I do like the fact that he's punching it up at 7.5 in a pint. That's nice, and it's chuggable. That's great.
Yeah.
So that's my review.
Great.
I love it.
Fantastic review. Matt.
I hypothesize I'm going to be wildly different than my esteemed colleagues on this beer. Off the top rope, I give this a 3.25. This smells and tastes like the material that they used on the school bus to clean up vomit. It's a very close line between...
Sawdust?
No, it's a compound that they
I know
use.
what you mean.
So there's something, thank goodness I don't get the orange because it would do a lot worse for me. The strawberry tastes chemical. I don't know if it's like It tastes like it wants to be puree. Again, I agree with Chris. I do not get the IPA. I don't get the hops. But again, the lactose washes that out. My first taste was great, and then my enjoyment is going down. And to go with Chris's astute comment, this might be better than a 12-ounce can. I don't know if I want multiples of these in the pint size. Orange you glad? No.
I totally missed the name. Yeah, I love the fact that the name of it, Orange You Glad I didn't say strawberry. That reminds me of like a Bob's burger of the day.
Yeah.
You know, hamburger.
Man,
I wish
That was it.
this is a good beer at 3.25. It just, I wish it was
Better.
They're-
More gooder.
They're like you said, their bar is so high, and
Their bar is high.
I've had
But
the
they're experimental.
orange creamsicle. Yeah, it's okay to have misses. Sorry, Stacy. This one just happens to be a miss for me.
I feel like you have to, this is life in general and a little bit of philosophy 101 for me, and it's widely shared that, people that are really successful or companies that are really successful failed and failed and failed
Yeah.
and failed, and
Totally.
I think, this falls in that category. I'm speaking for you and your score.
Yeah.
I like it,
Mhm.
but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And overall, as a whole, for no one in particular, they're so experimental that they're obviously going to have shit that does not taste good, that is a failure by probably every measure. But they're like, shit, we produced a huge batch of it. We're gonna can it
Oh,
up.
yeah.
We're not gonna dump it in the river.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have failures, but through those failures, they've set their bar so high.
I would just take this beer and I would be like, I would like to ransack the universe, JT.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. And we will ransack the universe at some point. So yeah, Matt is going to be wildly different. I also gave this a 4.5. I think there's only two misses with this beer. One is I forgot one of them, but one is that there's too many things going on here. I do taste the honey, and I do taste the hops. I think you needed to up it with one of the orange or the strawberry. Maybe take one of them out. You don't need all that.
I'll help you out. Take the orange out.
The orange, I can taste the orange too. I think Matt said he didn't, and that was one of the benefits. Was that he didn't? Oh, I remember.
I think that's the vomit taste. Like
I think that
chemical.
it's rind again. Remember we talked about this a while ago?
Yeah.
There's that
Some
two
bitter.
citrusy flavors. It's the rind or the actual fruit, and this one's like all rind. It's super bitter. I think you could get rid of that and make like a strawberry creamsicle IPA. The second thing that I had thought was wrong with this beer is the name itself. I think this is what a lot of milkshake, quote unquote, milkshake IPAs are aspiring to be. This is creamy in the right way. The lactose is not overpowering and just sugar. And I think the honey is what balances that lactose and makes it creamy and like dark instead of sweet and bitter. So this is actually really good. I think that if they relabeled this a milkshake IPA or maybe a smoothie IPA, it would be more expected. When you drink it, you'd expect the flavor you're getting, because when you just say it's a creamsicle IPA, I think you're like, I don't even know what this is.
Smoothie IPA. I never even heard of smoothie IPA.
No, name it a smoothie
Right,
IPA, and I think
exactly.
you get, when
You're
you taste
on
this, you're
to
like, holy shit, this is a 4.75.
You're awesome. A milkshake IPA to me is synonymous with New England IPA.
It is, but I think that
It's
it
a hazy.
should be sweeter.
And it should be bitter.
You think it should be bitter? I think it should be sweeter and like have like a milkshakey flavor, creamy, not thick. That would be gross. But like a creamier, lactosey IPA.
Yeah.
Whereas this, if you name this a smoothie IPA, home run. They nailed it. It's a smoothie IPA. They didn't name it.
I would
that.
agree with that. Yeah, I think you got it.
So I give it a 4.5. But
Do I have a different beer than you guys?
You want to try mine?
Yeah.
You just don't
4.5
like the flavor of the vomit.
I can
queen.
taste all the things that they're saying. I think that, but nothing is highlighted. Nothing stands out.
But But in
it's
that
good.
case, they list a bunch of things and you can taste it all.
I can taste it all.
You just want you want less? Less is more?
I think take out either the orange or the strawberry and like give it an identity. Because right now it's just like, holy shit, there's all these things going on. I can taste the honey, I can taste the strawberry, I can taste the orange rind. Take the orange rind part out. That's the shitty part of this beer. If it was a strawberry creamsicle IPA, home run.
It's just so
and
much.
I think the honey and the lactose, I don't think the honey's there for flavor, even though I can taste it. I think it's there as some sort of chemical thing.
I don't know.
For the lactose.
Maybe so. There's just so many sweets in this. Lactose sweet, honey
Yeah.
sweet, orange is sweet, strawberry
Totally.
sweet, vanilla sweet.
Yeah, I think
That's
you just
so
eliminate
many
one of those
things.
things and give it like a strawberry identity, or eliminate the strawberry and give it an orange. Smoothie IPA, home run. 3-pointer.
Man,
Dunk.
that's
Whatever the equivalent
half
is.
court shot,
Half court shot.
full court.
Steph Curry.
Yep.
And that's it. 4.5.
Excellent. I think it's time to play some games.
It is time to play a game. Today we're playing the Great Debate. So you guys will be paired up against each other.
Fuck.
Not
All
paired up at all, actually.
Paired up
One-on-one.
against each other.
1-on-1.
Balls.
One will have to take, point, and one will take counterpoint. But the coin will decide who gets what.
Oh, good.
As usual,
I
like we
wanna
always
choose.
do. You just
So you remember the coin?
I didn't, but I had one in my backpack.
Okay.
So we're good. We're good.
That's rare.
So we did tee ourselves up on this in the beginning because some of these are tied into the beginning conversation of the podcast. But the first debate question is: there are either too many or not enough craft breweries in the United States. Okay, so too many will be heads. Who wants to be the first to claim the coin? So,
Visitor gets a claim.
all right. So if it's heads, you will get too many. If it's tails, you'll get too few.
Oh, wow. He doesn't get pick.
Tails. So there are too few breweries in America. There are too many craft breweries in the United States. You have 1 minute. Let me get my phone. I forgot to start.
Who's going first?
I'll let you guys work that out. Maybe you could rock paper scissors. or you can
I made
just
you
be
choose
a
coin, so
gentleman.
I should probably go
You
first.
should go first.
Otherwise,
Okay.
I can't crap on you.
House rules.
So you have 1 minute to make your point, and I will choose who makes the stronger point.
So I'm saying there are too many.
You were saying there are
Too many.
too many. Yes, and he's saying there are too few.
Okay, can I have a 15-second warning?
Think. Oh, warning. Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever you start, I'll start.
Excellent. Chris, there are too many craft breweries in this country, and I'm going to explain to you why.
Please do.
In this pandemic, unfortunately, craft breweries are going under. So that shows that the market is saturated because we aren't able to get out and reciprocate the business on some of the smaller craft brewers.
Mm-hmm.
So if we had fewer and we took like the brain trust, kind of the cream of the crop, rised and got to the craft brewers that are in business, we would have more of a sustainable product, because I'm just worried about the individuals now that are going to be without a job. Pre-production, you were talking about 50% of the jobs aren't going to be able to return after this. It doesn't matter. It's going to take years and years for the economy to return, but the trickle down to those individuals that are working in the service industry
15
and the creation, I just worry about them. So less is more in this because we get a higher product from the craft breweries that did exist.
Strong, right out the gate.
We're being recorded now, so I can't say
I
my
love
body language.
I love the
It's
eye
like-
contact. The eye contact was phenomenal.
It was vicious.
It was phenomenal.
It was,
All right.
I was completely tuned out.
You have
I was
1
thinking about
minute
other
to-
things
you-
the entire time Matt was talking.
You didn't hear a word he
No.
said.
He was
I
doing,
know,
I
doing
know.
grocery
1 minute.
list.
Yep, exactly.
You have 1
I got a
minute
full
to argue
life
that
today.
there are too few breweries in the United States. Whenever you start, I'll start.
Matt, there are too few breweries in the United States. You want to know why? Because of the pandemic. It's closed them down. Now, when the pandemic is over with, what are you going to want to do? Are you going to want to sit in your house and just stay there? No, you're not. You're going to want to go out and get a craft beer. But guess what? There's too few craft breweries in the United States. Therefore, we need more right away. They need to open up right now. We can wear masks and shoes and shirts, just like normal establishments where they tell you to wear shoes and shirts to go inside. Just add a mask, no big deal. But everyone is thirsty. Everyone wants craft beer. Even people that don't know they want craft beer, they want craft beer because they want to get the fuck out of their house, right? Are you doing the 15 second for me?
You got
great,
15
thanks.
seconds.
Craft beer is good for America, okay?
Mhm.
And if it's good for America, then it's good for the world.
Great. All right. Those were good arguments from both sides. I think that Matt used more facts and kept eye contact not only during his part, but during your part. He maintained straight.
We were Lady in the Tramp during
But
both
I will
parts.
no longer
I know.
give points for eye contact after this. I do like that your patriotism really peaked out at the end there. That was great. If it's good for America, it's good for everyone. But Matt gets the point. He has 1 point. I should have had an odd number. Unfortunately, I only have 4 of these. But I can come up with one at the end. I always do that, right? All right. So Matt won.
I'm so excited to get out of the house. I won't bring the beer. The game will have even points.
All
I'm
right.
so excited.
So in this case, this next question is: low-calorie craft beer is either a disgrace to craft beer or is helping the craft beer community. Heads will be a disgrace. Matt, you can pick heads or tails. Actually, it doesn't matter what you pick.
Tails.
Matt, you get whatever this is. It is tails, so you get helps craft beer. So low-calorie craft beer helps the craft beer industry. You have low-calorie beer is a disgrace. Whoever wants to go first. I think, Matt, since you took the point, Chris, you can go first this time.
That's fair.
And Matt will be the respondent.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, I'll give you the 15-second warning at the end.
Low-calorie craft beer. I don't know if you heard me right. In the Chuggalo universe, did you hear low-calorie craft beer?
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone go out to drink craft beer and look at the calories? Does anyone? I know there's a few people out there that do, but they don't really count. They're kind of like not real. They're not real people because they're looking at calories while they're drinking craft beer.
Mhm.
It's a disgrace. You said it. You said it. It's a disgrace.
Part of the question.
I didn't say it. It's not a question. It's a statement. It's a fact. A statement of fact. Low-calorie craft beer is disgusting. It shouldn't be allowed. In fact, it should be outlawed and probably sent to countries that we don't like Venezuela or Iran
15 seconds.
or fuck China. Send it to China. You know, America first. Fuck calories. Drink craft beer.
All right. Great start. Great start. You got your rebuttal.
Great start. It's a winning start.
It is a winning start, but we'll determine that after this rebuttal.
Chris,
Matt.
answer me one question. Is America fat?
I mean, you got to compare it to other things.
Exactly. You're so confused in your mind right now because we've been drinking these fat beers. Well, I think we need a choice. And the choice it happens at the supermarket or wherever we buy the beer because all the bars are closed right now. We need the option of low-calorie beer. Why? Because we have individuals that go home, they're stressed out, they're wearing masks the whole day, their mind is convoluted by fats, carbs, and CO2. They need to take their mask off and they need to be able to crack something that's not a Mick Ultra because the market share is there for craft brewery
15.
to make beers under 100 calories. Give me your hand. Chris, I need you with me on this journey. Low calorie craft beer.
No.
So to start this question, I had already decided that craft beer or low-cal craft beer would help the community, but I would only award the point if someone either mentioned seltzer alcohol, whatever they're called, hard seltzer, or women. Neither of you did that. Chris gets the point.
It's not about sex,
Because
JT.
bringing
We're all in this
calories,
together.
people
We're all in this together.
who want to look at the calories of their beer are either competing with the seltzer beers or women. Typically. Because you can drink a Busch Light
It's pretty sexist.
and it's the same calories.
And it's delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious. All right. This one was teed up earlier today. Chris, you got the point. You will have heads or tails.
When you were saying earlier, when you were trying to
It
find the
doesn't
beer
really
that you
matter.
didn't bring?
What's that?
When was it teed up earlier? Before and
Oh,
after?
during the beginning of the podcast. So
Oh, okay.
this is about to-go beers. Beers to go,
beers.
curbside beers. Beers to go should stay, or so curbside beers should stay, or curbside beers should go. Should stay will be heads. Chris, you will have the determining flip. It is heads. So you have should stay. Matt, you have should go. Should not stay. But I feel like there can be some pretty good arguments here.
Okay.
So whenever, let's see, Chris won the point last, so Matt, you get to go first this time. So
yeah, that's fantastic.
it's a reward that he doesn't have to go right
No,
away.
it is it's good because I do well when I don't.
This is how this game goes for me typically, so I'm quite happy that this is going this way.
It's going well
Yeah,
for you.
It's going great for me.
Randomly.
All right, so whenever you start, I'll start.
Curbside beers are a menace to society. And I'm going to take the next 42 seconds to explain it to you. And then I want to take 10 seconds of silence to ponder what I have to say.
I appreciate
The
it.
problem with curbside beers is all of us want to be satiated immediately and can't wait. What if there's a naked woman sitting in your car? Are you going to wait to get home? Or a naked man to pleasure that individual depending on your proclivities? No, you're going to pleasure that person immediately. Beer is the same way. All of us, we have a podcast about beer. We can't wait till we get home. What if you're driving 3 hours? You're looking over, it's like, hey, Chris, drink me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you drink beer.
15.
And you get it curbside. Take the next 10 seconds and just think about the gravity of what I'm saying. Curbside beer, go.
I think that's enough seconds.
You gave me
Of
7
madness.
seconds. I was just,
You were counting? You weren't
Yes.
even thinking? Oh, you should have been thinking.
I was counting.
Should have been pondering. All right. Curbside beer should stay. Post Corona, obviously. Both of you.
Deregulation. I don't like laws. I don't like regulations. I don't like wearing masks over my face and shit like that. I like to drink and drive, maybe. Not really. That sounds legal. But I do like to get beers to go. I mean, that's pretty much the end of the argument. Everyone in the world likes to get beer to go.
Something to drop.
Yep. No, well, I'm just going to act like I'm writing notes because I don't have anything else to really say. Beer to go is here to stay. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Beer to go is not going anywhere other than into our mouths
Mm-hmm.
and into our cars
Mm-hmm.
and into our mouths while we're in our cars. Because it's hot and it's summer and you want to drink beer. But you're driving and you just need to drink beer.
Great. I like the idea of pleasuring a naked woman immediately
Yeah.
and not waiting 3.5 hours. But I also like that the South came out of you, like right at the beginning of that.
That's right.
It was like, whoa, South. Point to Chris. 2-1.
So the South will rise
The
again?
South will rise. Well, in Chris it will. At least it will come out of his mouth.
Wow!
Whoa.
Hey, man.
And we have reached a new low.
These are the truths. All right. Final question. It either ends in a tie, or I'll think of a fifth thing, or Chris wins outright. Beer fests are good. Beer fests are bad. Beer fests are good will be heads.
Would you say you spent more or less than 90 seconds on these hard-hitting questions?
I spent at least 120 seconds on these. Here's what I was looking through all the news of the day, and I found that there's 2 beer fests that have somehow sold out, and they're both virtual.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to add this as a question.
Because you know where the
So I kind
proceeds
of
are
gave
going,
you a
right?
little away.
The proceeds are going to individuals that work in, like...
That's. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Okay.
But I feel like maybe the Untapped one is not in that. Are they giving proceeds?
No, not the Untapped one.
They're fucking
They're
taking
lining
it all,
pockets.
and they're gonna send you
CEOs.
11 beers for $95.
Yeah.
And their IPs.
they're gonna take
That
your
was
money.
mid-coke pre-AIDS, the Untapped people.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So heads will be beer fests are great. Tails will be bad. Who had the coin flip last time? I forgot already.
I did. So
Okay,
Matt
so
gets
Matt
the
gets the
one.
coin flip. You have tails. They are bad. Chris got the point, so you have to go first again.
I have to go first again?
Yeah, because
I
Chris
thought
got
it'd
the
be
point.
even.
That's how the person who gets the point goes second. I found a new tool, just so you guys know while you're thinking. Just don't even listen to the words I'm saying. Think about your.
Oh no, I've already got stats.
I found a tool within this audio editing that removes silence without me having to do it myself.
Oh, and
the silence is worthwhile there because I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay, you want me to leave it in? I'll leave it in.
I'll leave that one in.
Well, then I have to do all of them manually. It's either all or nothing.
Damn.
This tool is.
That's what we're using there recently. The tool that you were mentioning.
The tool that I'm mentioning for the last 4 podcasts I've used.
Oh, nice.
So has it sounded good?
Yeah,
because I watch them, and the silence is still in the video one.
Yeah.
The audio, the silence is out. Anything under a half a second is removed. Anything over a half a second, is removed.
Yeah.
So half a second silences and less are kept.
Wow. I used to do all that manually.
I did too. For 82 or 3 episodes, I did that all manually. I listened to the whole episode. That's why I used to say I listen to every episode 3 times.
And that tool has been in there since day one?
No, it's on the Mac version.
Oh.
But I have my work computer, which is a Windows.
Damn.
But once we did the quarantine,
Mac version?
Once I started the quarantine, I used the Mac to record the thing. And, let me see if it's in here, actually.
Because that's what's up at your battle station is the Mac.
That's what I have at home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that. It's in the Windows version, but it's grayed out. So I must have to download something. It's called Truncate Silence. Anyway, for all those audio files out there, Truncate Silence. Okay, Matt, you have beer fests are bad, and you're up first.
Beer fests are bad for the endangerment that they pose to society. I'm going to provide stats, and I'm going to provide #MAD, Mothers Against Driving. We were the official podcast of Ale Fest last year. I'm going to hit you guys with a stat. They offered sober driving tickets. We had over 420 individuals come to. How many drunk driving or how many sober tickets were bought?
6.
12.
11. Also, they were able to correlate how many Uber and ride shares were called to it using cell phone data because they have to provide that. Under 30 rideshare events.
No way.
And there was over 420 individuals there. Think of all of the drunk driving that's going to occur. And JT, you talked about this. We should have beer fests virtually. Send out a beer list. You can drink from your house for this amount. All the beer is sent to your house.
Okay. That was right at a minute. That was perfect. I forgot to warn you.
Look down quick.
I forgot to warn you. All right, whenever you're ready.
If I lose, it's on the moderator.
No, you won't. Time won't. It was my fault on the time thing.
Beer fests are good because you get to socialize. You get to drink beer with your friends, your coworkers, whoever you're there with. You get to interact with the brewers. Beer fest is good. It's a community event. It's a social event. It's designed in that fashion to act that way. A lot of those people that didn't take an Uber or buy a sober ticket probably used the old getaway sticks. That's totally legal. You get to do that at a beer fest. Beer fests are good for the community. It brings in revenue for the city. It brings in revenue for the brewers, so you're supporting the brewers even more. And then you get that personal, that one-on-one time with the brewers where you get to look them in the eye. The guy that brewed the beer and he's trying really hard to give you to sell that ware that he's crafted for so long. And then to see that recognition of, you did a good job, this is delicious beer, that is worth a lot.
Wow, I was totally ready to hear and award Crystal points, but the statistics that you brought, Matt, with all of that cell phone tracking data, it blew my fucking mind that there was only 11 DD tickets sold, and my sister was one of them. And then there was only 30 ride shares, 400 and something people. Fucking crazy. Matt gets the point. Ends in a tie.
Hey!
All right, guys. You guys got it. It's a tie. That was great. Deep down inside, I was really hoping that Chris had the counterpoint that they're bad, only because of our Chicago experience. I know that Chris had a lot of thoughts about that Chicago Beer Fest. Not sure if they would have come out or not. But I think you would have made a lot of good points about it. But you won the point.
I'm serious. We should do a beer fest where we mail people like whatever dollar amount we want to put on it. We're gonna mail you these, and we're gonna have a virtual beer fest. But we're all drinking the same beer.
That's what Untap's doing.
They're
mailing 11 beers for $95. Yeah.
Damn it.
But we could do it. Who said we couldn't? I mean, for us, it would only be like 11 people.
Because you
or
could
something.
still get together in like your enclave. It's not
Yeah.
like, game aside. It's
We could
not like
Skype it up. We could.
I mean, we talked to a few people. We were one of the vendors, but
we
like
should.
if you're going vendorless or whatever, you could still get together in your party of 6 or 8 of us. I mean, we hooked up with. a few
I'm
people.
sure we could coordinate with all the local Dayton brewers and get one beer from each of them and do a beer fest virtually.
For like a nominal fee. We could do like
Hardly,
a delivery.
Probably, nominal fee from the people involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's say Tina down in Centerville wanted to participate, and we did 12 beers or whatever like that, and then they get a full product.
Mhm.
It's delivered to their house. Come to the Zoom meeting or whatever at this time, and we're gonna go in order. You were talking about during your point, like you're able to talk to the individual that's shilling their craft.
The brewer.
You can actually
Yeah.
have the brewer. So
That
like
would
from
be fantastic.
from 8:10 to 8:15, the brewer is going to talk about this beer. So if you only want to turn in because you want to hear a Branch and Bone and you want to hear Toxic,
Yeah.
Branch and Bone is going to be from 8:10 to 8:20, and Toxic is going to be from 9:15 to 9:30. You would have.
Then what do you do in the meantime? How do you
Well-
entertain someone while they have the other beers there?
That could be the
Where's the meeting? Where's the...
well they know the schedule, but that could be Warped Wing. Let's say you're not a Warped Wing fan, DBC. You still fill it, but you're giving them the schedule, so in case they want to turn off or whatever, you already have their money.
Yeah.
But we're just providing them that interaction with the brewer. So if they brewed an alligator ale or whatever, this was the inspiration behind this. And for 10 minutes, if you have a couple thousand people, it's going to be tough to answer questions.
Mhm.
But that would be up to the brewer. Like, hey, you have 400 people that bought into this pack. Your time is from this. Whatever you want to do with it is that time. You just mute everyone else. And then for like the final 2 minutes or whatever during that time, you could even make it a subscription or whatever.
Do you have the option to people watch everybody?
Well, I've done a few with work or whatever where I just covered my camera the whole time, so I was audio only. So I guess you could like throw it mosaic, but to
That's
have that reach out to like individuals. I don't know. Am I stupid? Like,
No.
thinking that there's
No.
something here.
This is a
What
great idea.
I'm missing in the virtual thing is the people watching.
Yeah, the
aspect.
interaction.
Oh,
I love to people watch.
yeah,
I love to go into I don't like to necessarily interact with the people,
yeah.
but man, I do love to watch them and judge them. And
So
make
in-
up my own
In a
backstories for their
virtual
lives.
conference kind of way, I don't think we would have that people watching element.
I want to people watch, so I would want the ability to where, like, if you're participating, then I would kind of want your camera open. I want to see what's going on.
Is it a nice to have or is it a need to have for you?
No. It's a nice to have.
Yeah.
We're working through the thought process
Yeah.
here. Maybe this is a bad thought. I don't know. But I'm saying for me personally, if a brewer is on from, if they end at 8:30, the person that I'm interested in, and the next one isn't for another hour, it's like, what do I do for an hour
Yeah.
at this beer fest? Normally, if this was occurring, I would sit back and I would chat with my friends, and I would constantly be looking around because that person's interesting and that person's interesting, and oh, look at that guy's got a really cool
That's
snack.
a good point.
I take in all these different things, and I would want to see that on my. I would put up monitors everywhere, and I would just watch everyone's feed and be like, oh, look at that person's wearing cat pajamas, and there would be so many things that I would want to see, that I would want to feel more immersed in the social aspect of it versus just, let me tune in for this brewer, let me tune in for that brewer, and the rest of it I can go wash the dishes. That's not a beer fest. That's my point.
That's a great point. I think the way to solve it might not be available yet.
Hacking.
Like, you have a group, and we can ask everyone to unveil their cameras, but your interaction with them on an individual level, I don't believe can happen unless you call each other.
Yeah, can't you just like drag your mouse over to like this person's
That'd be
square
cool.
and like click, be like, hey, and it like sends
Like,
a little
well,
wave.
4 of these people are talking over here.
Yeah.
You 4 are talking over
Yeah.
here.
You
I
can
don't
click.
think you can do that yet. That'd
You
be
can click.
an awesome
You
technology.
can click and be like, hey, I'm wanting to talk to this person out of
That'd be
3,000. I want to talk to this person because they look interesting.
Yeah.
And I want to send them a little tab.
That'd be cool as hell.
And then us two are like, oh, what about this person? Because they've got the same T-shirt on that we do. What
Yeah.
about you, dude? Like, let's talk.
That'd be awesome. I don't think that technology exists.
Damn.
like a conference within a conference.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you have little sidebars. Everywhere's
We
there's
might
sidebars.
need to keep this off. We might have just invented a new technology, which
I mean,
we can't.
in any
implement.
social setting,
Yeah,
there's
that
sidebars
is
constantly
literally
occurring.
how a beer fest goes.
Yeah. Or any meeting
Or
in
any
general.
meeting, yeah.
There are constant sidebars.
Sidebars. And piggybacks.
I'm deep in thought on this. I think there's
That's a great idea. There are opportunities here
We
for
can
us to
create.
host our own BCP beer fest, ship beer, have a large crowd of people who can interact with each other.
build an add-on technology to Zoom called sidebars, trademarked, copyrighted.
you'll hear the legal shit.
Um,
But you can start type chats with people in like Skype conference calls privately.
I think that there's a comfort and affordability in drinking in your own house.
Yes.
And then still attending, because all of us, I mean, with the drink along and hopefully others, all of us have had an opportunity where we've reached out with House Party or anything like that, where we've had drinks over the internet. And it's great because at the end of it, I just turn it off. I don't have to worry about getting home.
Yep.
Ride share. I just go to bed.
Go to bed.
that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, there's pros and cons to every aspect of it. There's a lot of people that get social anxiety.
Yeah.
Suffer from social anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are others that get anxiety over technology.
Mhm.
And then there's the, God forbid, the worst, where you have social anxiety and anxiety over technology.
Yeah.
Then you just
Wait.
live in a box.
To get like these individuals, and you could cater it. You could make it almost like a biannual or a monthly subscription. Like, hey, this Saturday we're gonna experience beer from like add that next step to like Tavor or another
Mhm.
like beer order app where like, hey, if you buy into this for $60, you're gonna get FaceTime with the brewmaster. You're gonna other like-minded individuals. You can make themes. You could make it. Oh, this is gonna be an IPA themed night. I'm thinking about
Asking so much of brewers, though. I feel like.
yeah, but you give them a fee and then you're selling
Yeah,
their
I
product
think more
to
needs
individuals
to be
that
asked of brewers. They just put out this beer and say, "Drink my beer," and it's unique, and you should love it. And half
as the
time
middleman,
we
you could
hate
sell
it.
it like, hey, we're gonna sell this beer to these consumers.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason why we should love their beer, and they can tell us.
Yeah.
Because like we love the story of Nor in particular, right?
Yes.
And that they put out a great product, but we also like the story. What if there was more Nor in particulars out there that we wouldn't know about?
Yeah.
But if they had like 5 or 6 minutes of FaceTime with you where they got out and they said, hey, this is our, alligator ale.
Yeah.
And we're from, Lubbock, Texas. That would just be an opportunity. Otherwise, if you throw it away, you throw it away. And you hope that the lot or whatever you get for that night of drinking isn't complete trash.
I'm excited for this alligator ale.
I know.
Yeah,
the
salty.
alligator ale sounds good.
Sounds kind of
But,
salty.
Sounds
so,
fishy.
yeah,
It's like chicken.
I've heard.
But yeah, get the brew. Like I said, tune in. They're talking. Hopefully it's not like you're looking at their mouth like, hey, just like their setup or whatever.
Right.
Like,
I think they'll be all right.
because have you guys utilized or looked at Ohio's craft brewing website where
No.
they say it's all the brewers participating in Ohio. And this should have been let out the top of it, but this last weekend that they offered free shipping.
Mm.
So all of them partnered together, and you go to one website, and you can see all the craft breweries in Ohio, and you click on it, goes to their individual website, and they were offering at-home delivery for free if you built a cart. So I was questioning, like, if I wanted, UA, Rheingeist, Rivertown,
Yeah.
and I wanted them to build a box, like how all it was going to happen, but it was going to, take 2 weeks. And I'm not mad at the shipping or whatever, but I was building kind of my own box and just with what they're delivering. But the Craft Brewing Association for Ohio was offering that. I'm just offering an additional step, like if I, make a subscription or
If you
something. out of it.
curate
Yeah,
for everyone else.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then like, like kind of like what Hopsy does. I like American ales, whatever. Then they send you that.
Yeah.
But this would be like I like IPAs and sours, and you get that, and then once a week or whatever, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you get the opportunity to interface with the brewer, or
Yeah.
they're explaining their
So
wares.
sometimes on Instagram, the brewers will go on and talk about their beer. Ryan Geist did it recently, and I joined in. I was telling Chris this last week, but he didn't like read the full questions and everything.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a place to ask all these questions.
Yeah.
And talk to the brewers. And have the same beer as everyone else and talk about it. Now, if you have 3,000 people,
Well, then you have your
great for
sidebar.
us.
Hey,
Great for us because
Sidebars.
we have 3,000.
so then you have like a rating system. I rated this a 5. I want to talk to somebody else that and because when I like a different beer, different in a podcast situation, I want to talk to somebody else that likes the same beer.
Yeah.
Oh, what's in your local area that's not in this service? Then you start
working out deals.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
start
Yeah,
up
that's
beer
good.
trades.
You
You
can
know?
throw up some kind of little bubble that says,
That's a good idea.
I gave this beer a 5 and I
That's
love
great.
it.
I think we should do it. We should talk about this more. I think everyone in the BCP universe should look out for this potential BCP conference
Steve would be all about
beer thing. Steve would love it.
Yeah.
This is right up Steve's alley.
We gotta talk to Steve.
Yep.
Loyal listener Steve. And I've been analyzing some of our I know you were onto this way before I was, but whoever's in Ireland that's consistently listening, we love it. That you're definitely not a bot because of the consistency.
Yeah.
That's great. And we have now someone from the UK
Great.
who's consistently listening on a level that does not appear to be a bot.
G'day, mate.
Now the Mexico one, if you're from Mexico, good day, man.
At least you
Australia?
didn't say throw some shrimps on the barbie.
Yeah, right. If you're from Mexico and you're not a bot, please let us know because there's
Mexico?
someone from Mexico who's listening, and it definitely doesn't seem legit. Like 4 here, like in 1 day, and then like none for a while, and then 1, and that could be somebody who's like on a road trip or something, but
Maybe.
probably not.
Mexican prison.
Coyotes.
Mexican
They're called
prisons. They
coyotes.
love us in
Human
Mexican
trafficking.
prisons. That's a fact. They love the Butt Chug podcast in Mexican prisons.
Big listenership.
Big in Tijuana. Well, I got nothing else.
That's all
Great
I got.
game, guys.
Good
You
place.
tied.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. Episode 88, Double Infinity. Thanks for joining us.
2 points. 2 points. 0 points.
0 points. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Listen on SoundCloud. Watch on iTunes. We're also on Stitcher, Google Play, and what's the one with Joe Rogan?
Spotify.
Give us all that money.
Spotify.
$80 million.
80
Join
mil.
us next time on Butt Chug Podcast. Bye.
Deuces.